This is the fourth video of my master budgeting videos that I've done so far. I started with sales budget and posted it onto the channel. Production budget also posted, and direct material budget also posted. Today, I'm going to discuss direct labor budget. You know from previous chapter, you should know by now. If you don't know, go back and review your notes. But for a product to be produced, there is a need for direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. I've done direct material already. Today is direct labor's turn. Okay. So what is the cost? How much is the company going to spend on paying for the workers of the production? Okay. Now let's move ahead. As I've always said, begin with the title of the budget. We have a company called Rodan Corporation, and I have Rodan Corporation here, and the budget we're producing is direct labor budget. And for what period? For the year ended December 2019. I just chose 2019 because we were not given a specific year, so you can just choose whatever year you want. But with this, it's an annual budget. Okay. So the company has, for this reason, we'll go ahead and we have the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Okay. The company already knows how much unit or how many units they want to produce, but they don't know how much it's going to cost to pay for the workers. That is when we come in as accountants to help the company to know how much they are going to pay their workers. So we will first take what they have. They have required production in unit. They told you as an accountant that in the first quarter we want to produce 8,000 units. In the second quarter, we want to produce 6,500 units. In the third quarter, we want to produce 7,000 units. And in the fourth quarter, we want to produce 7,500 units. And within the year, we will be producing 29,000 units. They want you to find out for them how much they are going to spend in paying for labor. Okay. Now you ask them, okay, you want to produce this, but how much time are your workers going to spend on one unit? Okay. How much time are going to spend? That's where you come in direct labor time per unit. One unit, how much time or how many hours are they going to spend on one unit? Then we know how much we're going to spend on the unit and how much we're going to pay them. And fortunately, we have been given, as we asked them the question, they told us each unit requires 0.35 direct labor hours. Okay, now that you have that information, just put it there, 0.35, okay? 0.35, you drag it all the way, and we have 0.35. So each unit direct labor hours will be 0.35. So the workers will spend less than half a minute or half an hour on one unit. Okay. Now, as an accountant, you go ahead and find out the total hours, the total direct labor hours workers will spend in making the unit. So you multiply the number of units times the number of hours per unit. You drag it all the way. And then we have the information here. Okay. So for 8,000 units to be produced, we will spend, or workers will spend 2,800 hours on 8,000 units. That's a lot. No. For 6,500 units, workers will spend 2,275 on those units. Okay. Now, you know the number of units or the number of hours you're going to spend on the units according to the number you have. but how much are you going to pay them per hour? Then you go ahead and ask the company, okay, how much are we going to pay them for 1 hour? And as you ask them, the company has the information for you. They said direct labor are paid $12 per hour. $12 per hour. So you go ahead and put $12 there. Okay, select $12 and drag it all the way. Okay, so $12 per hour. Now that you know it's easy, you just move ahead. Okay, now I know that I will need 2,800 hours and I'll pay them $12 for each hour. So I will multiply the 12 by the 2,800 and I'll find my answer. So let's do the magic here. So we select this, multiply by the 12. So we have 33,600. So we drag it all the way and then we have it over there. So in the first quarter, we will spend $33,600 in producing 8,000 units. We will spend that on direct labor. We will spend $27,300 on direct labor to produce 6,500 units and so forth. And at the end of the year, we will spend $121,800 to produce 29,000 units. Okay, now we have this covered, easy and simple and straightforward. Now, the second question or the second requirement is a little bit complicated, but not too much. Don't be scared, not too much. So what we are going to do here, we will use the same formula or the same procedure or approach we use in the first one. But here, the company want to know how much they will be paying in addition to what they already owe. So here, what it is there is overtime. There are people who work overtime, and the company want to know how much they will pay them on top of the regular hours that they pay. Okay, so I will do the same thing and put in the numbers there. Okay, the numbers is based on these ones. Okay, numbers is based on what the company already has. So we'll still do the same thing. 8,000 units will be produced, 6,500 units will be produced in the second quarter. In the third quarter, 7,000 units will be produced. In the fourth quarter, 7,500 units will be produced, and we sum them up. And then we have the unit that will be produced there, okay, for the year. Now, we go ahead and we have all this information. So we are finding the regular one. Maybe I should take you through the question, okay? So we know. So it says, instead, assume that the company's direct labor workforce consists of permanent employees who are guaranteed to be paid for at least 26,000 hours each quarter. Okay, so there are people that are paid 26,000 hours each quarter, no matter what, whether they work less or more, or whether they work less, you have to pay them 26. If the number of required direct labor hours is less than this number, the workers are paid for 2,600. So even if they work less than 26,000 hours, they still get paid for 26,000 hours anyway. Any worker worked in excess, okay, let's highlight this, in excess of 2,600, okay, so stop doing this to me. So in excess of 2,600, okay, what is going on? Okay, all right, we'll get it this time. So in excess of 2,600, they are paid, this is the rate they are paid, okay, 1.5 times the normal hour rate. And the normal hour rate we know is $12, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Now, let's still go, we still need to find how many hours will be needed though. So, and we have the information already from the first problem, 0.35. So that's what we're going to use for all of them till the end of the year. Okay, good. Now that we have that total direct labor needed, okay, so it's the same information. So this multiplied by the 35. I've went through all this with you, so that should be easy. Okay, you should be familiar with this by now. Okay, and now the regular hours paid. Okay, you know, regular hours paid. What is the regular hours paid? What's the regular hour rate? Okay, we know that the company will pay them 26,000 hours, no matter what. Okay, whether they work less or they work 26,000, they will still get paid for the 26,000. So we put 2,600 there. Okay, yeah, 2,600 there. So 2,600. Okay, they will be paid for 2,600 hours, no matter what. Okay. So whether they work less or more, they will still be paid for 2,600 hours. Okay. So, and now we go ahead and find out, okay, what is the overtime? If they will be paid for 2,600, what is the overtime? Okay. If they work less, they will be paid for 2,600 hours. If they work more, they will be paid for the overtime they work. So we have here they work 2,800 and the regular is 2,600. So we'll pay them the difference. So this minus that, we pay them the difference. Okay. Here, notice that they work less than 2,600. So we won't pay them any overtime. That is 0. Here too, they work less than 2,600. So we won't pay them any overtime. Here, they worked more than 2,600, so we will pay them the difference, okay? We'll pay them the difference, which is 25 hours, okay? So we have the 25 hours over there. Now, what do we do with this? So we still have 2,600 here, okay? That's correct. That was correct. Okay, so we move on. Now, we know that in the first quarter, we will be paying 200 hours of overtime. Second quarter, we will not pay any overtime. Third quarter, we will not pay any overtime. But the fourth quarter, we will be paying 25 hours of overtime. Okay. So now, we want to combine how much we will pay for the 2,600 hours plus the overtime. Okay. So we find the regular hours is at a cost of $12. Okay, at a cost of $12. So we take the the regular hours multiply by the regular rate, which is $12. We have it here. Okay, so we put it here, and for the sake of time, I will just drag it all the way here. Okay, and that gives us this, and we just total, and we have the total. So for regular hours, the company will have to pay 124,800 for regular. Now, how about the overtime? How about the overtime? That's what we ask ourselves. How about the overtime? Okay, so overtime in the first quarter, we will have to pay 200 hours of overtime. What is the rate? The rate tells you here, $1.5 times the hourly rate, which is 12. Okay, that's how I have written it here, or I've typed it here. So the rate is times 1.5 times 12. We put it here. Okay, we do the same thing for this. So we are not paying here, we are not paying any overtime, so we leave it. In the third quarter, we are not paying overtime, so we leave it like that again. In the fourth quarter, we are paying for overtime. So this multiply by 1.5 multiply by 12. So 450 of overtime. Okay, and then we add them together, see how much we're paying for overtime. So the company will pay 124,800 of regular, and 4,050 for overtime. Now, we find the total direct labor cost. So we add them together, this plus that, we add it together, and then we drag it all the way. Okay. So in the first quarter, the company will have to spend 34,800 on direct labor, and that includes regular and overtime. In the second quarter, 31,200, that was only paying for regular because there wasn't any overtime. In the third quarter as well, there wasn't any overtime. But in the fourth quarter, there was overtime of $450. So at the end of the year, the company will spend $128,850 on direct material, which includes regular and overtime. I hope this makes sense. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section and I will respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Share with your friends and learn something new. See you next time. Bye-bye.